Ian Browne is here, supervising club reporter for the MLB.com, covering the Red Sox since 2002. Wow. It's a long time, Ian.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute.
Thanks for joining us again here. I liked your headline a day or two ago about the defensive miscues catching up with the Red Sox. Have they caught up, or have they just...
You know the answer to that. Why are you asking him?
It seems like a season-long defensive miscues situation, Ian. Are you being kind? Are you being too kind?
First of all, I don't write the headlines, as Andrew knows. A lot of the times the writers don't write the headlines for those stories. But yeah, the defense has been tough. It's been an issue, really the last 3 years, which makes it harder. And it cost them 2 games in a row. And then last night Walker Buehler does what he does, and that's 3 bad losses in a row after you kind of built some pretty good vibes there, both going into the Devers trade and for the first few days after.
And obviously, John and Andrew, I'll let you guys go, but I'm burying the lead here. It's mostly about Rafael Devers, so I'm sure that's what you guys want to address.
But that's part of it. I mean, Rafael Devers not being in this lineup, oddly enough, doesn't change a lot defensively or on the base run or in the base running either. I mean, I was talking to these guys earlier, Ian. How often do you see a team ground into a double play when you have the runner on second and nobody out? I mean, it just seems the Red Sox are capable of these things whether they have Devers or not.
Yeah, we've seen some crazy things the past couple of days. I will say that, Jarren Duran is supposed to be a veteran on this team and on a team of younger guys, and he's got to play smarter baseball than he has been lately. He's got to hit better, too. He's just, he's not even really coming close to what he did last year. And that's kind of an underrated thing. For all the other stuff, that's kind of an underrated thing that's hurting this team right now. It's just Duran's performance.
Ian, I want to ask you about Cora because I know the sports that I've covered, it's much easier to parse the blame for a bad play call or stupid mistakes or too many penalties. And I understand the team is trending younger, but Duran is not a young player. Neither is Abraham Toro. When it comes to the defensive mistakes and those on the base paths, how much blame do you put on Alex Cora for either coaching this or allowing it to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime a team is not playing fundamentally strong baseball, which you've seen here, some blame goes on the manager. They do work on all these things. I see it in spring training, so I'm not sure exactly what's happening on the field here. A lot of young players. But, yeah, Alex Cora is going to be in charge of righting this ship. He's got to... he's got to do what he can to stop these mistakes from happening. So it's been just too many giveaway games this year, and that's the unfortunate thing. They're 500. They should be a little better than 500, and they've got to play just cleaner baseball going forward.
Amazing that they're 500, I think is how Wallach put it this morning,
Yep.
Based on some of the things. But back to Alex Cora for a second. Where would you gauge his investment level, say, this season compared to previous seasons or just prior to his latest contract extension that he got last year?
Yeah, I don't sense anything different from Alex Cora. I mean, he's the same guy. He's frustrated. As you've seen, he's gotten thrown out of the game 2 days in a row now. So I think he's pretty...
Because he doesn't want to watch it.
Yeah, right, yeah. But no, I don't think he's any less invested. I think that, he is managing a lot of young players, and now they've traded Devers, and I think that he was behind I don't think he had a problem with Rafael Devers being traded because, look, that was casting some sort of cloud in the clubhouse, I think. It was just like a lot of uncertainty with that. So I think he almost felt freed a little bit after that trade, I think. So, no, but I think he's invested. I don't think investment is the issue with the manager.
How would you characterize, because you're in there every night, home or road, how would you characterize the Red Sox clubhouse right now? Is it relief? Is it energized? Is it sadness? What are you seeing?
Yeah, no, I will say the first day I walked in there in Seattle last week, after the Devers trade, I was expecting kind of like a sad, sort of uneasy clubhouse. Guys were happy, joking around, playing music. So I think the clubhouse is fine. I think that the only thing with the Devers trade is the timing was a little bit weird because they had just gone on a winning streak and they had just swept the Yankees. But, I think that guys understood the trade, and I don't think that Rafael Devers was like a huge part of the clubhouse dynamic the way he was kind of acting this season. So, I think the clubhouse is fine. That's not the issue. The issue right now is on the field, and they need to make. There's some other shoes to drop. They need to make some other moves here to improve this team now that they've lost their best hitter.
Ian, spinning it forward, part of the return for Devers obviously was Kyle Harrison, 23-year-old starter. He's still in AAA. I know you wrote about him and some of the other pieces that came back today. I'm a little split on Kyle Harrison because I look at him as obviously got plus velocity. He's already had major league experience at 23, but the secondary pitches meh, and I know he's tinkered with some hard curveballs, some soft ones. Like I don't know where to land here on Kyle Harrison for a guy who, especially after Walker Buehler blew up last night, it probably needs to be here soon. What is reasonable to expect from Kyle Harrison this season and moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason he's at AAA right now. Is not because they don't think he can pitch here right now, but because they want to fine-tune some things in his repertoire, and they want him to be ready to produce once he gets here, whether that's a month, 5 weeks. It's very similar. I don't know if you remember when they got Nick Pivetta in 2020. They sent him down to the minors when they first got him. He went down there, worked on some things, and not that he became an ace for the Red Sox, but he was better than he was with the Phillies, and he was kind of dominant at times. So I think that's what they're looking to do with Harrison. But no, 23 years old, there's still a lot of upside there and plenty of time to develop him. So whether it happens this year or next year, ideally this year, the way this rotation is trending right now, I think that was the big piece of the trade. Andrew Bailey, remember, he worked with him in San Francisco as the Giants pitching coach. So there's some familiarity right there already. I think that Logan Webb had some great things to say about him over the weekend. He was his teammate in San Francisco, and he thinks that he's really going to flourish under Andrew Bailey and in Boston, though. And then we'll see what happens here. But I think that was the big reason, the big piece in that trade was getting Kyle Harrison.
Looking forward, the trade deadline's about 5 weeks from now, and you mentioned you think the Red Sox have to make at least one, maybe two moves now that Devers is gone. And management, more specifically Craig Breslow, said immediately after the trade, now it gives us the flexibility. We can go, use our resources somewhere else. I think that there isn't a lot of trust from Red Sox fans in this leadership at all, but you seem to think that they are going to make some moves here.
I think they have to. I mean, just the way they've invested in this whole season with, they got Garrett Crochet and they got Alex Bregman, and Breslow said, with every move, this is all about this year. So you can't suddenly back away from that. Now, unless they just completely free fall, between now and the July 31st deadline, I think if they stay where they are right now, you have to make a couple impact moves, whether it's getting one guy I think you need to look at is Marcell Ozuna from the Braves. I mean, the Braves are falling out of it. They just lost Chris Sale. This guy tears down the wall every time he comes to Fenway. I mean, just a big bat. They need an impact bat, and they need another really quality starting pitcher. So I think I'd be disappointed if I were a Red Sox fan if they don't go out and do those two things before the trade deadline. But no, they do have the money now. They have some capital they can trade. So I do think that there's some more significant moves coming here.
Ian Browne from MLB.com is with us. Ian, you said earlier that the team understood the Devers trade. There was a lot of discussion in the immediate aftermath about Devers and how he was with the team, how he was in the clubhouse, how he was perceived by management. When you say that the team understood it, is it an understanding because he wasn't necessarily everyone's favorite around there? Everyone knows what type of player he is and how he contributed to the team, but did he make it easier for his teammates to see him go because of how he was with everybody in and around the team?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was a bad guy necessarily. I think the issue was it was kind of a slap in the face of the whole team when he wouldn't play first base, or he wouldn't even entertain the idea of playing first base once Tristan Casas went down for the season with that knee injury. So I think that's what really hurt Rafael Devers standing in the clubhouse, was just kind of not being there for his teammates. And I think that could have made a difference on the team. had put him at first base, he could have gotten Masataka Yoshida up much sooner. He could have been DHing. So it just, it hurt you as a team. So I think that's what, I don't think he was ever malicious. I think maybe he was a little more disengaged since the whole thing happened in spring training than he was in past years. But again, I think it was more just not willing to play first base. And I think the team looked at it as, we have a bunch of young guys here. We don't want to set a culture where our best player isn't doing all he can to help the team win every day. So I think that's ultimately one of the biggest reasons he got traded.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, because I don't think anybody would excuse the way the Red Sox handled the situation. There could have been a lot of different ways to deal with Rafael Devers and where to play him and how to move him around. So this doesn't excuse it in any way, but I do think it's interesting that now the narrative seems to be that he's in San Francisco. Oh, he's gonna play wherever they need him to.
Oh, he said that
without any hesitation. It's like, well, okay, the Red Sox didn't handle it great, but that's a pretty big admission now that once you've been moved, you're like, hey, wherever you need me is cool. I get it now.
Yeah, I actually asked the question to him in San Francisco. I said, Rafi, what do you say to Red Sox fans who are wondering why you would not be willing to play first base for the Boston, but you are in San Francisco? And he said, well, I think I put up some numbers where I deserve some respect. And then he added that if they had asked him to do it at the beginning of spring training, he would have done it, playing first base. So I'm saying Tristan Casas wasn't hurt in spring training. They needed him to do it once Casas got hurt. So that answer didn't make a ton of sense to me. But I think the first part of it was, I deserve respect. That was how he felt as kind of the lead dog on the team, that, how could they ask him to switch positions twice? And that was just kind of, the straw that broke the camel's back, really.
All right. Ian, appreciate the time. Thank you. As always, Ian Browne from MLB.com. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.